Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to learn English through a short story. You'll first listen to the story and then we will go over some key phrases and expressions together. The story is called The Cup of Courage. Sit back, relax, and listen carefully. Maybe this story will remind you of someone you know. Okay, let's go. It was a rainy Tuesday morning. The kind of morning when people walk fast, hide under umbrellas, and avoid eye contact. Inside a small cafe on the corner, Emma sat by the window, staring at her untouched coffee. She was supposed to give a presentation that afternoon, her first one in English. Her hands were slightly trembling as she rehearsed her lines in her head. The door opened and a man in his 60s entered, shaking the rain off his coat. He ordered a cappuccino and looked around. All the tables were taken, except for the one where Emma was sitting. Mind if I join you? He asked politely. Emma nodded. Sure, go ahead. They sat in silence for a while. Then the man pointed at her open notebook. Preparing for something important? Emma smiled nervously. A presentation at work. I'm not confident with my English yet. He chuckled softly. Well, I've lived here for 40 years and I'm still not confident with my Turkish. You're doing fine. That made her laugh. It was the first time she had laughed that morning. He continued, You know, I used to be terrified of speaking in public. My voice would shake and my mind would just go blank. But one day I realized people don't expect perfection. They just want connection. Emma thought about that. Connection over perfection. When the man's coffee arrived, he raised his cup and said, To courage, the quiet kind. Emma smiled and lifted her cup too, to courage. A few hours later, standing in front of her colleagues, Emma began her presentation. Her voice trembled at first, but she remembered the old man's words. So she looked around the room and focused on connecting with the people. By the end, people were smiling and nodding. She wasn't perfect, but she was actually real. That evening, she returned to the cafe, hoping to thank the man. But the waiter said, You mean Mr. Thomas? He hasn't been here for months. He used to come every morning before he moved away. Well, Emma smiled, feeling a warmth in her chest. Maybe some people show up in our lives just long enough to give us some courage and then disappear like passing rain. So, let's look at some useful expressions from today's story, The Cup of Courage. Bugünkü öyküde geçen bazı önemli ifadeleri şimdi birlikte inceliyoruz. Bu ifadeler hem günlük konuşmalarda çok kullanılıyor hem de kendinizi daha doğal ifade etmenize yardımcı olabilir. Birincisiyle başlıyoruz. Avoid eye contact. Göz temasından kaçınmak anlamına geliyor. In the story, people walk fast, hide under umbrellas, and avoid eye contact. It means not looking directly at someone because you feel shy, nervous, or uncomfortable. For example, he avoided eye contact when he was lying. Yalan söylerken göz temasından kaçındı. And the second one is to go blank. Aklının bir anda boşalması. Blank, boş demek. Mesela blank page, boş sayfa. Hiçbir şeyi hatırlayamamak. Bir anda aklınızın boş bir levhaya dönmesi gibi hatırlayabilirsiniz. In the story, my mind would go blank. When your mind goes blank, you suddenly forget what you were going to say or do. For example, during the exam, my mind just went black. Sınav sırasında aklım tamamen boşaldı. Hiçbir şey hatırlayamadım. And the third expression to be terrified of something. Bir şeyden çok korkmak. In the story, I used to be terrified of speaking in public. Terrified is stronger than being afraid of something. It means extremely scared. For example, she is terrified of flying. Uçmaktan çok korkar. And the next one is to go ahead. Go ahead. Devam et, buyur anlamında kullanabiliriz. In the story, mind if I join you? And she said, sure, go ahead. Used to give someone permission to do something. For example, can I start? Yeah, sure, go ahead. Başlayabilir miyim? Yani tabii ki, devam et. Sende sıra gibi. And the next one is connection over perfection. Mükemmellikten ziyade bağlantı kurmak önemli. Bu ifade mükemmel olmaya çalışmak yerine samimi olmayı tercih et der insanlara. Yani when speaking English, focus on connection over perfection. İngilizce konuşurken mükemmel olmaya değil, bağlantı kurmaya odaklan. And the next one is raise your cup or raise your glass. Kadeh kaldırmak anlamında kullanılıyor. In the story, he raised his cup and said to courage. For example, let's raise our glasses to new beginnings. Yeni başlangıçlara kadeh kaldıralım gibi. Show up. The next one is to show up. Ortaya çıkmak, görünmek. In the story, maybe some people show up in our lives just long enough to give us some courage. It is used when someone appears or arrives unexpectedly. For example, he didn't show up to the meeting. Toplantıya gelmedi, toplantıda bulunmadı gibi. And the next one is again like passing rain. Geçici bir şey, uzun sürmeyen anlamında. Passing rain. Bir süre yağan sonra hemen duran yağmur gibi aklımızda tutabiliriz bunu. For example, some problems come and go like passing rain. Bazı problemler geçici yağmurlar gibidir. Gelir ve geçerler. And quiet courage, quiet courage. Sessiz cesaret, dışa vurulmayan ama güçlü bir cesaretten bahsediyor. The man says to courage, the quiet kind. It means the bravery that doesn't need attention or applause. For example, raising your voice for the truth takes quiet courage. Gerçek için sesini yükseltmek sessiz bir cesaret ister. The last one is he chuckled softly. Hafifçe kıkırdadı, gülümsedi. Chuckled. Chuckle means quietly laughing to yourself. For example, she chuckled softly when she remembered the joke. Şakayı hatırlayınca hafifçe kıkırdadı gibi. So that was today's story and language focus. Eğer bu tarz öykülerle İngilizce öğrenmeyi seviyorsanız videoyu beğenmeyi ve kanala abone olmayı unutmayın. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about connection. See you in the next video. Bye bye.